So the complicated factoring that you showed me on the second picture is, you could do it 3 different ways. You could do it by trial and error, you could do it by quadratic formula, or you could also do it by this way called Mustang method. Now, when I was in high school, the only way they taught us was trial and error, and that might be the only way that you learn it now, which is basically they tell you figure it out, and then you're like, I don't know, what do you mean figure it out? I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to show you Mustang method because it's actually a proven way to get the answer. But if you don't like this, or if it's not working for you, or if you really want me to focus on trial and error, let me know, like text me, just let me know, and I can show you the other way. Okay? But here's Mustang method. Here are the steps. The first thing is, if possible, you need to take out the greatest common factor, which we discussed in that first video. So if possible, take out the greatest common factor. Then we do Mustang method. Mustang method is these letters, okay? And it stands for my father drives a red Mustang, okay? My father drives a red Mustang. Kind of like PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But it stands for stuff. The M, I can't hold my camera. The N stands for multiply. The F stands for factor. The D stands for divide. The R stands for reduce. And the M stands for move. Okay? Multiply, factor, divide, reduce, move. That's Mustang method. And I believe I taught this to you, but I don't really remember if I focused on it a lot. It's not something we do in algebra that much. You mainly focus on it in algebra 2, as you can see right now. Okay? So here are some of the problems that you're used to seeing. So you saw this on your homework assignment. Something like this. 2x squared minus 3x minus 2. Well, first of all, is there anything that I could take out? A greatest common factor. Is there any number that you can multiply into 2, 3, and 2? Besides 1. And no, you can't. Do they all have the same letter? No, they don't. So I can't take out a greatest common factor. So now we're going to do Mustang method. So the first step was multiply. And that just means the first and the last number, which I told you before. 2 times negative 2. So if you multiply 2 times negative 2, you get negative 4. That's the first step. You just write it out like that. Okay? Second step is to factor. So basically, well, here, actually do this. I want you to actually write it out. So you basically move the 2 over here. So you do x squared minus 3x minus 4. You just move that 2 to the back. Okay? And now we factor like we did on the other video. So we're going to get this stuff. Hang on, let me move the board so it doesn't shake. We're going to get stuff like this. Okay? So what multiplies to negative 4? Well, you have 4 and 1. And you have 2 and 2. Okay? So which one of these is going to get me to a negative 3? There's no way I could add or subtract and get this to a negative 3. But I could get 4 and 1. So how can I get 4 and 1 to a negative 3? You would do negative 4 plus 1. Okay? That's the factor. This is the new stuff. It's not hard, but that's where it gets new. Okay? So the next thing is you divide by the front number. What I mean by that, divide by the front number, is the front number in the beginning was 2. So I'm going to divide these numbers by 2. Okay? Divided by 2. R is reduce. So I want you to reduce that stuff. So basically 4 divided by 2 actually reduces to 2. But I can't reduce 1 divided by 2. If you put in the calculator, it doesn't reduce. Okay, so you just can't reduce that. And then if you can't reduce, or if after you reduce you still have a fraction, then you move the bottom number front. What I mean by that is the bottom number here is 2, so it just moves to the front. 2x plus 1. This is very strange, I know, but for me, it's much better than guess and check because I can get the right answer. I don't have to kind of like just happen upon it by thinking. Like, it's going to give me the right answer no matter what. Okay? And if you actually did this, it would make sense. 1 times 2 is 2x squared. If you did 1 times 1 minus 4, so 1 minus 4 is negative 3. And then negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. So you can check your answers to make sure, but it's going to get you the right answer. So let's do another one. This is going to be a little harder because we're going to be dealing with bigger numbers. 6x squared minus 5x minus 4. Yet again, the first thing we do is we multiply. Let me check this off. Multiply. So I'm going to do x squared minus 5x. But 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. So you're basically just moving that back there. Okay? Now we're going to factor. What multiplies to negative 24? And there's a lot of stuff. So let's break it down. 1 times 24. 2 times 12. 3 times 8. 4 times 6. So I'm basically counting up 1, 2, 3, 4 if it's possible. Next number is 5. 5 times something isn't 24. And the next number is 6, and we already have that on here. So that's a lot of stuff. Which one of these is going to get me to negative 5? I'm going to go ahead and write this stuff. So is 1 and 24 ever going to get me to 5? No, it's not. Is 2 and 12, add or subtracting, ever going to get me to 5? No, it's not. Is 3 or 8 ever going to get me to 5? And yeah, that could work, so let's just hold off on that one. Is 4 or 6 ever going to get me to negative 5? Then no way, so it's not going to happen. So I got to use 3 or 8. So how is 3 or 8 going to get me to negative 5? And you would think it's going to be negative 8 plus 3. Yet again, if that part's hard for you, you just need to play with your calculator, add things, subtract things until you find something that works. Okay? There we go. So we factored. We divide by the front number. So the front number here was 6, and the front number here was 6. So we divide. Okay? Then we reduce. If you reduce this fraction, you can't divide it, but you could reduce it. So they both have a 2 in common, so it would be 4 over 3. If your teacher allows you to use calculators, you could just put that in the calculator and then math enter it, and then it would give you this fraction. 3 over 6 reduces to 1/2. Okay, so you reduce the fraction, and then you move the bottom number to the front. So I just move this forward. I get 3x minus 4. And then I move this forward. 2x plus 1. Okay? In my opinion, much better than guess and check. But if this, we're going to do like one more, but if this doesn't work for you, that's fine. You just let me know and I'll show you a different way. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to do this stuff. But to me, this works for me. Okay? Last one, if you just need more further help, and then we can be done with it. Actually, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do this one. And there's a reason why. X squared plus 8x minus 30. If you remember, our very first step is, if possible, you must factor out the greatest common factor. So is there a number that goes into 8, 8, and 30? And then, yes, there is. That number is 2. So we're going to pull out the 2. And then 2 times what is 8? It's 4. 2 times what is 8? It's 4. 2 times what is 30? 15. Okay? So this is my new information. We're going to leave this 2 alone for a little while, and I'll show you what we're going to do with it. But now I'm going to do Mustang method with this. So I'm going to multiply. Okay? Multiply. So this basically goes over here. X squared plus 4x. 4 times negative 15 is negative 60. Okay? So I need factors of 60. So this is going to take a while. So 1 times 60. I'm just going to count up and see if it works. 2 times 30. And if I were you, if like you can't do these in your head, that's fine. But I'd take 60 and then start dividing it by 1, by 2, by 3, by 4, and keep going that way. 3 times 20. 4 times 15. 5 times 12. 6 times 10. You can't divide it by 7. You can't divide it by 8. You can't divide it by 9. And then the next number is 10, and we already have that number there. You just start dividing it by stuff. It needs to add or subtract to a positive 4. Ain't no way that's getting you a 4. That's not getting you a 4. That's not getting you a 4. That's not, we're getting closer. That's not going to get you 4. But 6 and 10 could give me a 4, right? 10 minus 6. So x plus 10, because it's positive 4, and x minus 6. Now so that's factoring. Then we divide by the front number. Not this front number, because we took the 2 out. This front number. So we divide by 4. Okay? We reduce the fractions. Boop. Reduce the fractions. So 10 over 4, we could divide that by 2, so we get 5 over 2. Yet again, you could do that in your calculator if you're allowed them. 6 over 4 reduces to 3 over 2. And then we move. So the numbers come front. So we get 2x plus 5. And you get 2x minus 3. So that is a 5 if you believe it. Okay? And then with this, at the very last moment, just bring that 2 back down and then put the 2 in the very front. Like that. So that's kind of weird, I know. Okay? This is Mustang method. It's a lot of work, I get it. But to me, it's better than guess and check because you're not having to kind of figure it out in your head. If you need more help, do not hesitate to ask. This is what I'm here for, okay? I get paid to help y'all. Plus, I love y'all, okay? Let me know.